Hello my beautiful hammerhead and welcome back, I forgot the light, to another video. We have the core rules for Age of Sigmar's 4th edition. Today we have the point values, we have basically everything except all the factions and their rules and so on. Also, what I want to talk about is at the end why there was nothing at the weekend on content and otherwise, but again, if you're interested in that, I will talk about it in the end. So, Age of Sigmar Essentials. We have this nifty little page here. Download the Warhammer Age of Sigmar core rules, battle profiles and more for free, which is really nice. Here are the rules with terrain list, glossary and everything. I'm not gonna talk about everything. That video would be way too much. What I want to talk about in the core rules is not only the design, we already kind of know the design of 3rd edition, but how it not really changed, but some things I really love. And I want to talk about abilities because that is extremely important. Then we have the battle profiles and rules updates. Also something incredibly important that I want to talk about because here is how we're gonna build armies. Really important. I'm gonna gloss over everything. We have the quick start guide, which we're gonna look in a moment, and the spearhead references, which we're also gonna look at in a moment. So let's start with the quick start guide. I really love this. It's 6 pages. This is beautiful because if you are new on the channel, first of all, hi. If you're new in the hobby, welcome. My background is I'm a chem lab assistant, but I train people. And I know how to write, let's just say rules for how to use certain machineries and so on in the lab, because it's really dangerous with the stuff we're working with. And so not everyone has the time to read through 30 pages. So I also have to write things in 2 pages, preferably less, but that's not always possible. So sometimes I have to write 4, 5, 6 pages so that everyone knows how something works. This is what we have here right now, the rules references. I love this so much. Some things here we already know. This is something we talked about in a couple of videos already, but I really can say download this one. If you are unsure with anything, many things are in here because the design space is used very well. Alone this movement phase abilities, shooting phase abilities, charge phase abilities. The declaration is just beautiful. And again, on the top side of every page, you have the phases, start of turn, hero phase, movement phase, and so on. Really good. Also the universal weapon abilities, as you can see, the universal terrain abilities, objective control, how it works, and so on. I really love this one. Then before we dive into the other stuff, spearhead references, let me just pull this over here. Also again, the same thing, it's just 2 pages. Also incredibly beautiful, especially for people who are new in the game, because the rules references for the bigger game also includes the advanced rules, like we have seen here is with the universal terrain abilities, which is not something that is really in Spearhead. Okay, then let's look at the core rules. The core rules are 66 pages. Again, we're not gonna go through everything here. I opened 3 tabs for this one, so I don't have to scroll through everything. Again, we know the design. I really love the design here. I love how we can just... there is an example in a moment where we'll talk about. Yeah, but if you know 3rd edition, you will know this one. Not many things have changed in the rules, but the changes that are made are really, really well made. Some of them are a little, let's just say, difficult. But okay, we will talk about that on Saturday on the stream, because I have to push the Feel Good Friday streams to Saturday because of live right now. So, okay, the incredibly important rule that I want to talk about is in section 28. It is almost at the end of the core rules. It is on page 26. Yeah, 26. And this is a discussion I had a couple of times with my friends, and on the internet I saw this one couple of times. Also, we are lucky here because we have two communities. We have my German channel where people ask questions, and we have this channel where also, of course, people ask questions. So I can give you the best of two worlds. Because some things get lost in translation, and that is fine. And who's using an ability and advanced ability rules was something that is really near to me. So let's just look at this point here. Who is using the ability? Most abilities are found on war scrolls, but many appear elsewhere. The best examples being the universal core abilities. See section 14. This is the thing that I really, really like with C section. Okay, while abilities on war scrolls are always used by the unit whose war scroll it is, makes sense, some abilities that do not appear on war scrolls will tell you explicitly to pick a unit to use the ability. In both cases, it should be clear which unit is using the ability. We have an example with it. It's the War of the Iron Jaws, but we will come to that in a moment. Some abilities that do not appear on war scrolls, most commonly enhancements, see army composition section 4.1, are given to certain units in your army. In such cases, that unit to which the enhancements was given is using the ability. Makes sense, you give your hero a trinket, the hero is using the trinket. Abilities that neither appear on a war scroll nor tell you to pick a unit to use the ability are used by you, the player. Incredibly important. We need a keyword player. Finally, for the purposes of the rules in this section, when a rule refers to a player using an ability, this includes abilities used by units in that player's army. Okay, those are a lot of words, but this is just the short version. Okay, now let's go to section 28.2, once per timings, because that is one that, again, I saw a lot of discussions about. The timing part of some abilities say once per phase, once per turn, or once per battle. These are pretty much self-explanatory, because once per movement phase, once per charge phase, and so on, once per shooting phase or otherwise. Once per turn is, it's your turn, you can use it once. Once per battle, you can use it once. Once per turn is, you can use it once while you're the active player, so 5 times a game. Once per battle is once per game. If the ability is used by a unit, it can be used a maximum of 1 time in that phase, turn, or battle by each unit that can use the ability. Okay. If the ability is used by a player, it can be used to a maximum of 1 time in that timing window by that player. As of right now, this makes sense. So, then we have some abilities that are used by units, say once per phase, army, once per turn, army, or once per battle, army. These abilities can be used a maximum of 1 time in that phase, turn, or battle, regardless of the number of units in the army that can use the ability. Okay, a lot of words again. So let's look at the Iron Jaws battle trait here. the Iron Jaws War. Declare. The declare part is the important part here. Pick a friendly Iron Jaws hero to be the target. It is a once per battle in your charge phase. The effect for the rest of the turn, the following effects apply to friendly Iron Jaws units while they are wholly within 18 inches of the target. And the rest doesn't really matter. So you as a player are using the ability. This is the once per battle. There should be the keyword once per battle player in my mind. Because we have other abilities that is specifically used again by a hero, by a unit. So the other example is the Morgrunter. Once per turn in the army in your movement phase. This is again, it doesn't matter how many Morgrunters you have, only one of them can use this ability once per turn. So you have 3 Morgrunters, one of which can use this ability. So it is really important, you have to look at the wording. Are you using the ability as a player, or is the unit using the ability as the unit? That one is really important. Otherwise, we have the stacking of abilities. That is also something we already talked about. You can't have 2, let's just say here, Ward 5 is the example. You can't have 2 of those. You can't have the same universal weapon rule. Let's just say anti-hero +1 to rend. You can't have those 2 times. Only one is active for that one. But if you have anti-charge +1 to rend, that is stackable. So anti-hero +1 to rend and anti-charge +1 to rend. When an enemy hero attacks you, you have +2 to rend. Okay, now let's look at abilities, because using abilities is something that I really do love. Because first, the active player, let's just say it's your turn, the first turn is yours. You use everything in the movement phase. Oh no, it starts with the hero phase. I'm sorry, I was just looking at this one here. Your hero phase, you use every ability. You're done. You ask me, do you have any abilities in my hero phase? I say yes, counter spell, unleash spell, whatever you want to call it. I use that. Then it's your movement phase. You use all your move abilities. You're done. You ask me, do you have any move abilities? That is the gist of it. So everything we use is an ability. So this is section 14, universal core abilities. We have here normal move, run, retreat, shoot, charge, fight. Those are all abilities. The other important thing here I want to talk about is core, because I saw a couple of confusions here as well. Here it is, the following core abilities can be used by any unit. Remember that each unit can use a maximum of 1 core ability per phase. So if you have, you moved your normal move in your movement phase, keywords core and move, you can't use another ability, be it a spell or be it a prayer, something else, an enhancement. As long as there is the keyword core, you can't use that one. That one is really, really important. So, okay, that was it with abilities. Now let's look at the battle profiles and rules updates. We're not gonna look through everything here, just a couple of things that I thought that are really, really interesting. First of all, rules updates. This one I really love. It's color coded, which is not important right now, but in the future. So here, first of all, points, unit size, regiment options, notes, again, base sizes, nothing really that special. So regiment options, any human infantry. I love this. because we have elf infantry, we have human war machine, we have Duarden infantry and war machine, and so on. That is important. So, because these are the heroes, like, oh, you can't see it, I'm sorry, heroes, really important. So, what can they take with them? Any human infantry. Battle Mage on Celestial Hurricanum, any human infantry and cavalry. Really, really interesting. Also, Callus and Toll, Toll's companions required. This unit cannot be reinforced, and they can take with them any human infantry. I love this so much. So, oh, I really thought that Galen Van Danst and Doralia Van Danst would be one unit, but apparently not. So, okay, where is it? The Free-Guild Marshal, Cavalier Marshal. 1-0 Free-Guild veteran and any human. So, infantry, cavalry, war machine. So, Free-Guild veterans. Really important. Where was it? I'm sorry. I could have I could have done that way better. There we have it. The Fusel Major on Ogre Warhulk. This hero can join an eligible regiment as a Free-Guild veteran. So for the Free-Guild Marshal on Griffin, the Marshal and Relic Envoy, and Cavalier Marshal, you can have a Fusel Major on Ogre Warhulk. We have the same thing basically. The Black Ark Fleet Master can be a Shadow Agent. A Shadow Agent is basically here. The Sorceress on Black Dragon can have 1-0 Shadow Agents. The same thing here. Warden King has 0-1 Cogsmith. This is throughout every battle profile. It's just in another name. With Daughters of Cain, it's the Coven Matriarch. Let's just say here, Morathi Cain, of course, can take with her a Coven Matriarch, which is also the Hag Queen on Cauldron Blood, the High Gladiatrix. Gladiatrix can have the Avatar of Cain, and so on. Something that I forgot to talk about is unit sizes, because regularly, you have a box of, let's just say, 20 zombies and 20 skeletons, and that is regularly the unit size. But with zombies, that is the case. 20 zombies, 150 points. Skeletons, on the other hand, is a box of 20, and you have 10 skeletons in there. And the other example, let's just go up way here to our beloved Stormcast Eternals. That one is important because Vindictors you also buy in a box of 10. So you buy a box of 10 and you have 2 units of 5 or a reinforced unit of 10. The other important thing here is with the Sequitors, as an example, this unit will move to Warhammer Legends on June the 1st, 2025. And also units that can't be reinforced is also here in the notes. Really important. Another thing I want to talk about, so how many heroes can you take with you is here. Grimnir's Chosen, again, another example. The God Beasts. Not God Beasts, the God models that you can take with you. The best examples are with Destruction is Kragnos, with Death it's Nagash. Let's just look at those, because those are really, really important as for balancing, of course, because the really interesting part about this is now, not really that interesting, wrong word, but the point values are always the same. Here, Flesh Eater Cuties, Nagash, 880 points. In Nighthorns, Nagash, 880 points. So the point value sticks. We also already saw that Kragnos in other armies also has the same abilities. It's the same War Scroll, and with the point values, it's always 680. 680, and so on. And I really, really love this. But it still gives us the option to balance the model for every army. So there was a lot. I'm sorry, there could have been a lot more that we can talk about. So please, if you have any rules questions, now is your time to write them in the comment section so we can talk about them on Saturday while I'm picking apart my Scaventide box. And yeah, for the foreseeable future, the Feel Good Friday stream will be a Feel Good Saturday stream. But why was there nothing on the weekend? Because maybe you saw it, I scheduled a stream for Saturday, but sadly it wasn't possible because maybe you're aware of it, but I have a chronic illness and it flared up, so I really needed to take some time for myself. That kind of bummed me out a little bit, but that's life. I'm getting older. And yeah, this is something that we have to live with. I'm sorry for that. I didn't want to put it in the beginning of the video because the majority of people will not care. And that's fine, because we're still a wargaming channel. So, but yeah, again, if you have any questions about any rules, please leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section down below. I'm keen to know what you have to say, and again, we can talk about it on the Saturday stream. And while you're here, please remember to do all the YouTube stuff, because hitting buttons is not only fun. Why? Because that way we can build a bigger community and talk more wargaming almost every day. And of course, lore. We finally have lore again. And if you want, you can support me with the links in the description box. Otherwise, have a great day, my friend. Stay fantastic, stay hydrated, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, bye, bye.